All right, folks, it's Thursday night. Hey, I think it's the last day of March, actually, about to go into April, getting that much closer to hunting season. Folks, I wanted to go. Don's out on the road tonight. He's way up in New York, doing a seminar tonight. So starting early, doing a seminar up in New York tonight. So we'll get Don back next week, and I'll be taking it this week. But got some interesting facts here. Tom passed along to me. He's going to go over start of the show here. This is from QDMA. Pretty neat for. This is the 2016 State of the Whitetail. I was just going to hit some highlights here and go over a few things. Pretty interesting. Says the deer hunters killed 5.5 million whitetails during the 2014-15 hunting season, and out of those, 2.6 million were bucks. So, and that's down 4% from the 13-14 deer season, and it's down 7% from the 5-year average. Now on the flip side, it says 2.9 million of those were antlerless deer, and that number is down 11% from 2013-14 and down 10% from the 5-year average. So kind of a downward trend just a little bit. I found that pretty interesting, thought I'd pass that along, but 5.5 million deer, that's a lot of deer, seems like, but just slightly, bucks were right about 47% of those were bucks killed, so pretty good balance right there. But I'd encourage you to go in there and check out the QDMA's 2016 State of the Whitetail. It also talks about diseases among the herds. A couple of the diseases, of course, the two most prevalent are the EHD and the CWD, the chronic wasting disease, but pretty interesting, really having an effect on the whitetail herd. And of course, that may have a lot to do with this downward trend that we're seeing over the last 5 years. So, so pretty interesting. Folks, we've got a big show tonight. We're going to hit a commercial break and come right back.
Rise and shine. It's time to hunt.
Repel and kill the bugs that bug you most with the all-natural 100% deep-free BioShield.
You've waited your whole life for this moment. Don't spoil your opportunity because of poor preparation. Keep your optics clean and fog-free for a clear shot every time. Fog Zero.
Introducing Scent Defense, a revolutionary 3-in-1 formula from Top Secret. Infused with antimicrobial silver copper synergy technology to attack odor before it starts. Fortified with NeuroX to attack and repel insects instantly. Scent Defense is specifically formulated to attract deer while simultaneously destroying odor. Scent Defense, the 3-in-1 formula for success.
All right, folks, we're back. What are we going to, caller, or we're going to questions? All right, we got website questions. Actually, this comes from a BioShield website question. Kind of going into, kind of coming into spring here. BioShield is kind of on the forefront right now, especially, of course, this time of year. Mosquitoes are the big deal, and now, of course, ticks are carrying so many diseases these days. BioShield is super important, super product to help prevent that, just about any biting insect. But kind of goes into our first question from all the way from Kingston, New York. We got Sarah Riedner says, do insects have to bite or contact the spray product to die, or does it affect all insects in a certain proximity? And also, does this also affect bees? Yes, the insects, when they come into contact with the spray, it's almost an instantaneous kill. What it does, and I know we've talked about it on the show before, but whenever just about any biting insect, whenever it comes into contact with the BioShield, it shuts down their neurological system, and what it does it blocks a neurotransmitter that's it's called octopamine, and that's only produced by biting insects like ticks, mosquitoes, bed bugs. What's all of them? I got it on the side of the bottle here. Ticks, mosquitoes, fleas, bed bugs, chiggers, or what a lot of them call red bugs down here, but which are a huge irritation in this part of the world. But so it blocks that octopamine, and so that's a neurotransmitter. When you block that, it basically shuts down the neurological system, and it kills them just about instantaneously. So it works fantastic. It's all natural, no DEET, nothing harmful. You can put it on your skin. When it goes on your skin, in like 15-20 seconds, you can't even tell that it's on your skin. It's like it's not oily, it's not sticky or anything. And it's got a pretty pleasant smell, believe it or not. So works well. Really need to try it. As far as the bee question, Sarah, we're not sure about the bees part of it. BioShield was tested for insects and not necessarily bees, or not anything that stings. It wasn't tested for. So I'm not going to say that it will work. I'm not going to say that it won't either, but it might help keep them away. I'm not so sure that it's going to help kill a bee. Again, we just hadn't tested that yet, but mainly for what it's for the insects, it works outstanding. So, all right, we're moving on to a top secret website question. We got Colin Cowan from Jacksonville, Florida. Says, how do some deer become piebald, and do they have just as good a antler potential as other bucks? Well, piebald, that's in the DNA. That's an easy answer. It's just in the deer DNA. It's almost like, you know, how some people come out with red hair, or are prone to having no hair, or like I said, it's just in the DNA makeup. So, and as far as antler potential go, from everything that I've ever heard or read, it doesn't have anything to do with antler potential. That's not really affected. So, I know the piebald is a rare animal. So I've never seen one in the wild as long as I've been hunting, I guess, for over 30 years now. So I've yet to see one. So if you got any good pictures of some piebald deer, especially piebald bucks, we'd love for you to send them to the website. Love to check that out. We'll post them on the show. So, all right, we got another BioShield website question here. This is from U.S. Marine Nathan Abfelt from Houston County, Minnesota. What is the best way to avoid and keep ticks off of you? Any suggestions? Well, BioShield is the best way, and honestly, using all three is the absolute best way. Laundry detergent, use that, wash your clothes in it. Smells good, puts a nice scent on your clothes. You do that, wash all your clothes with BioShield, take a shower. We got hair and body wash, BioShield, do that, and of course, probably your most important, of course, is your spray. Put your BioShield spray all over skin, clothes, put it all over everything. And I tell you what, it'll help keep the ticks off of you better than anything that I know of. Because a tick basically is laying on a stem or a piece of weed or grass or whatever when you walk by. It's basically waiting to attach to you. When you brush up against it, sticks to you. That's how, and they're ready to jump on you. So, of course, right now, I mean, there's some, you can just get millions of them, seems like, these days. They're so prevalent. So, man, BioShield, very important. We use all three. It's a triple protection system. We even sell it in that way now. We got it available now in a system like this. You can buy it individual, of course, or you can just buy it together. So that's how you do it. All right, I think we got a phone call coming in. All right, that we do. All right, good night. You got Steve Burklow. Who we got?
It's Sean Radcliffe.
Sean, and hey, man, how you doing tonight?
I'm all right. How about yourself, sir?
All right. I'm standing in for Don tonight, taking questions. He's out in New York doing a seminar tonight. But where are you from now, Sean?
I'm from Ironton, Ohio.
Ohio. All right. The big buck territory up there.
Yeah, that's right,
I heard that.
yeah. My question is, well, Don Bell being the legend that he is and holding the patents that he does in the scent industry, after learning everything I learned about Don Bell and stuff like that, and, whatever, and before how I was doing the mock scrapes and stuff, I was wondering what are the most common mistakes that people do when they're making mock scrapes, concerning either they're, trying to target a specific buck or a doe.
Well, that's a good question. I'll tell you what I think, and it might be something good to run across Don on next week's show. I think he'll be back next week, won't he, Tom? Yeah, he'll be back next week, so it might be something good to run by him. Of course, he's got more experience in it than I do, but whenever he asked me to come on this, I had to tell him I had to think of a question, and him being the genius that he is, with all that stuff, if anybody could answer, it'd be him. Yeah, ain't no doubt. Well, I honestly, I don't know, but I kind of rule of thumb I tell people, I make mock scrapes about every 20 to 30 yards, and I put the scent directly in it. I don't put it on above it or anything. I put the scent right in it. So I've always had great success with it. I don't know if there is any like mistake how you can go wrong that way. Honestly, I just don't know of any other than that.
I was wondering about maybe a dominant buck patrolling this territory, and see, I've took a whole new approach to making my scrapes. Wearing rubber boots, gloves, putting scent cover on and stuff like that, and using the elements around my scrape territory to like a stick or something to clear out everything. But I've been wondering that question for a long while. If a doe or a dominant buck comes along and he smells, different scents, because as we've all learned, all scents ain't created equal.
No.
They're not bottled equally.
No, it's a huge difference, especially, of course, now with Top Secret. But yeah, and you're doing the right thing, wearing rubber boots. I tell you, rubber boots makes a huge difference. That went from a deer walking across your trail. To me, it's tremendous. I hardly ever have a buck spook because of walking across my trail now. So anyway, I don't know. And using sticks and things like that, man, that's perfect. Yeah, keeping your scent down to a minimum. You're doing it the right way. I don't think there's any mistake there for sure. But that's really about all I know to say about that. I don't know.
Well, I appreciate you guys letting me come on your cast and stuff like that, and I look forward to maybe Mr. Bell giving me some insight sometime or something.
I'll tell you
like
what, can he? Matter of fact, that's what I was about to say. Tom kind of held up. Can we call you on next week's show when Don's here?
Well, sure you can.
All right, we'll do that. He's making a note right now. We'll call you back for next week's show and let you talk to Don. Of course, like I said, he's kind of the grandfather of the scent industry, so I'm not going to begin to try to fill his shoes. So we'll do that. Well, I appreciate you calling in, Sean, and we'll get back with you next week, see if we can get some more insight on that.
All right, sir. Thank you.
All right, bud. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Yeah, that was, all right, we'll go to a commercial break, and hey, we'll be right back.
Rise and shine. It's time to hunt.
repel and kill the bugs that bug you most with the all-natural 100% deep-free BioShield.
You've waited your whole life for this moment. Don't spoil your opportunity because of poor preparation. Keep your optics clean and fog-free for a clear shot every time. Fog Zero.
Introducing Scent Defense, a revolutionary 3-in-1 formula from Top Secret. Infused with antimicrobial silver copper synergy technology to attack odor before it starts. Fortified with NeuroX to attack and repel insects instantly. Scent Defense is specifically formulated to attract deer while simultaneously destroying odor. Scent Defense, the 3-in-1 formula for success.
All right, folks, we're back, and we're going to go back to some of the website questions and Facebook questions. This is from Top Secret website. We got D'Angelo Marks from Rockford, Illinois, and it says, "Which state do you believe the next world record whitetail will come from, and why?" Well, that's a tough question, you know, and there's some daggone many good ones. You know, of course, mainly in the Midwest is where a lot of the really big whitetails come. I certainly don't think it's coming from Alabama. And the reason is they're just not near as big. So I know where they're not going to come from. Let's put it that way. I could answer that question better than I could this one. But no, anyway, I'm going to guess Kansas. Kansas has some huge bucks. Kansas is also has also opened up to where out-of-state hunters can come in and hunt more now. I know I like to go hunt Kansas, huge bucks. You can get a archery permit much easier than it used to be able to. You don't have to, it's not quite kind of like a lottery draw like it used to be, like it is in some other states. Illinois is still hard to get that. So the sheer number of hunters, I'm just going off of the chances, I guess, and this is strictly a guess, but I'm just going to guess Kansas, maybe because of the sheer numbers. But that's a good question. Iowa wouldn't surprise me either, but two great states for huge whitetails right there. But all right, well, let's move on to another Top Secret website question. We got Robert Fair from Ashland, Ohio, another Ohio boy. Says if a buck can if a buck can breed after velvet, why can't you use estrus all season? I guess that means if a buck can breed after losing his velvet, why can't you use estrus all season? Well, for one thing, he can biologically breed. He does have the equipment to breed, but he doesn't really have the urge. He doesn't really have the levels. The testosterone levels are not there yet. Plus, you don't want to use the estrus because you want to use estrus because a doe is in estrus. Well, the doe's not in estrus whenever he comes in velvet. It just means he can breed, but she's usually a month. In the Midwest, she's a month or 2 months away from being able to come into estrus. And even down here in Alabama, where we're at, he loses velvet. It's 3 to 4 months before does are coming into estrus. So it's quite a long time. So the main reason is that the does are not going to be coming into estrus for until well after he's shedding his velvet. So he's going to know something's up there. You're using estrus, and he's knowing that no does are going to be coming in at that point. So that's going to be a red flag at that point. So you'd always want to start using estrus whenever the first sign of does are starting to be chased. Then you know that the estrus levels are on the incline. So that'll tip you off there. But all right, now let's move to a Facebook question. And this is from Bobby Curtis from Notre Dame, Michigan. It says, how can you tell when the rut is starting and how long does it normally last? Well, Bobby, a little different for different parts of the United States, but for the most part, it's all generally the same. Usually you can tell just simply from what I was just talking about in the previous question, whenever you start seeing a sign of the scrapes, and that's kind of the pre-rut scrapes, and now whenever you start seeing does and you start hearing them deer running through the woods, and you hear that grunting, you hear the bucks coming right behind her, you hear that grunting, and then you hear they go running again. That's that it's on. That's your indicator right there that it's starting. And typically, I know down here, it typically lasts about 2 to 3 weeks. It gets really hot and heavy, and probably about a 4 to 5 day window there. It's really hot and heavy. Other than that, it's it goes up for 4 to 5 days, and then it starts tailing off again. But usually the total rut's going to last, for where they're really chasing and all, about 3 to 4 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Now, a lot of times, if a doe doesn't get bred, or if you got yearling does that don't get bred the first time, whenever they cycle again, they'll be chasing again, and that can be late. Matter of fact, I killed a pretty nice buck in Illinois in January, and he was chasing a yearling doe coming cycling back in well after the rut, which is first mid-November in Illinois. So it was like 6 to 8 weeks later. I didn't kill one on the first trip, so I was invited back, went back up in January, got lucky on about a 21-inch wide 8-point, and he was chasing a yearling doe, was real interested in it, so got him killed, matter of fact. So yeah. All right, moving on with another Facebook. Junior Lunsford from Elizabethtown, Tennessee. Is there a particular time of year that I should use your product, Top Secret? Absolutely. Every day, Junior. No, look, seriously, every day for buck urine, every day of the season, from the opening day of bow season all the way through the end of the hunting season, you can use buck urine. And I'm going to tell you, I use it religiously. Absolutely love it. Not just for bucks. The does really like, I think I told the last show, I've had does just really smell that buck urine, and I've had it where it puts them broadside for an easy bow shot, and it works outstanding. So buck urine every day of the season, Junior. Estrus, you want to add estrus whenever the first signs of does being chased, first signs of that, you want to add the estrus, and then use it the rest of the season. From the first point, you add it all the way to the end. During the rut also, you want to use certainly our tarsal gland, outstanding. The buck tarsal, want to use that whenever the rut starts. But just always keep in mind, buck urine every day of the season, every day. And you don't ever stop using it, you just add estrus to it whenever it gets to that time. So I think that answers that pretty much. I think that catches that. All right, we got another Facebook. We got Will Woodmansey. Is that how you say that? Woodmansey? Dowling, Michigan. If you had to use one game call and one deer scent during the peak of the rut, what would it be? Well, I know Don's answer to this. If you ask him what deer scent he would use, I know without a doubt what he would say. He would say buck urine. Every time he'll say that. So I'll just offer something different just to be different. I love using buck urine myself, but honestly, I really like the buck tarsal gland during the peak of the rut. It's kind of an infringement to another buck. So saying another buck's there, and if he's threatening to take maybe his doe, it's just outstanding. It can really pull in a good buck. So I like the tarsal gland myself, but I know Don's going to answer buck urine. So, but as far as the game call goes, I use honestly, I use a Primos. Gosh, I can't even think of the name of it. I think it's that Buck Roar, but I really like that one. It does a great. It works well, but I mean everybody has their own choices. Now we do have a call company locally here in Mobile. Bradley Calls. It makes a wooden grunt call that works outstanding. Very, very, very good. Sounds just like a dominant buck. Look them up on the website. Bradley Calls here in Mobile, Alabama. Works great. I use that one a lot, and the Primos Buck Roar. I'll use that. I'm not sure if that's the name of that Primos grunt call. Somebody might shoot us an email or Facebook and correct me on that. But I really like that one. It's got a little band that you can have it and just roll it up on your sleeve, so it's not hanging. If you're bow hunting, it's not hanging and catching on your bowstring. You can have it right here where you can just grab it and use it and let it right back down. It's real handy. I think that's what it's called, but it may be called an Easy Grunter or True Grunter. I can't remember now. I wished I'd have looked that up before the show, but I apologize for that. But any good grunt call, if you know how to, the main thing on a grunt call is knowing how to use it. A lot of practice, but if you can speak the language, speak their language, they're smart. They're going to know if you know how to use the grunt, and it's very important to use the scent with it. Use both of them together. It's a deadly combination. It'll change the way you hunt. So definitely will try it for sure. Not that you're not already doing it, but anybody that's not besides will try using both of them together. It's outstanding. Tom's holding up that phone. I think we got a phone call coming in. All right, you're calling Top Secret. This is Steve Burklow. Who we got tonight?
How about it, Steve?
Hey, who we got?
Oh, go ahead.
Who's this? You sound familiar.
Mike Burklow in Alabama, just sitting back, taking it easy on the Alabama River.
Good Lord. Well, it's quite a surprise, Michael. I didn't know you was calling in. I was just talking about grunt calls and knowing how to use a grunt call, so I should have mentioned Mike's name in that, shouldn't I?
I can't believe you didn't. I wasn't watching the show, but if you was talking about grunt calls, you sure should have mentioned mine.
That's right. Well, I was telling him about that. What was the name of the grunt call the one that we use? Is it a Buck Roar?
Yeah, it was a Buck Roar, and me and Ken and I were using that on that weekend we were hunting.
Yeah, the guest deer hunter
on the
giveaway hunt. Yeah.
And boy, we had a major experience using that along with the buck ear and scent.
Right. Yeah, the question that we just had says if you had to use one game call and one deer scent during the peak of the rut, what would it be? Thought that was a good question.
Yeah, and that was it. That's what we used. We used a buck urine and that Buck Roar.
Yeah.
He came in real close, but Ken didn't want to shoot him.
He did good. Ken was about to shoot him though if he would have got much closer because he was worried for Mike's survival.
I put a tree, that's for sure.
Well, that's what I told for the question. I said, I know what Don would say about what deer scent. I said, I know it would be buck urine if Don was asked that question. So, and I thought the name of the grunt caller, and that's Mike's the reason I got the one I got. I think it was called a Buck Roar by Primos. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it is. It's a good call. But well, Michael, dang, you should have come down the show with me tonight.
Well, I had too many honeydew errands today, and I got them done so I could go turkey hunting this weekend. That's one thing I was going to tell you, Steve. This time of year, a lot of people are really getting out in the woods, and for turkey hunting and for fishing. The crappie up here starting to bite, people on the river. And I have just gotten amazing feedback from people coming in the pharmacy that I talked about the product, talking about how good the BioShield is for these gnats and stuff when they're turkey hunting and when they're fishing. And I know that the other day I was marking a new food plot, and I didn't put any on me.
What?
And man, the gnats about killed me. I just, whew. But
Yeah.
yeah, I've been just getting a lot of good feedback on
For gnats.
on the gnats and stuff, using that BioShield and it keeping them away.
Well, that's great because we really hadn't had a lot of feedback on gnats. We've been talking about mosquitoes, ticks, and chiggers are real bad in Alabama and Florida. But I tell you, daggum gnats are such an annoyance. But I tell you what, if they're good for keeping away gnats, which we're getting a lot of good feedback, like Mike's saying, that is awesome news because I tell you, it's hard to keep them suckers away.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great. Fantastic. Keep it up, Michael.
Well, all right, I'm going to let y'all get on out of here. I'm cooking hamburgers and
You going chasing?
enjoying myself on my deck, so I don't want to bore y'all.
You gonna be chasing birds this weekend?
I'm going to be in the woods come Saturday morning. The weather's a little bad right now, so.
Yeah, I think Saturday's supposed to get pretty nice though. Be a little windy.
Yeah, I hope so. I haven't to do any turkey hunting.
Yeah, somebody asked me if you'd been turkey hunting yesterday, and I said, well, he hadn't told me he has, so I'm sure he hadn't if he hadn't mentioned anything about it. So
I had to get up and go turkey hunting open the morning and had to go to a wedding, and the wife had committed us to go, and I had to get up and walk out on two birds gobbling.
Boy.
I'll never do that again.
That's right. That's right. We're not recording this, Nah, teasing. We are. All right. Well, chasing birds, Michael. Glad you called in.
All right, y'all have a good evening.
All right. Talk to you both.
All right.
Bye. All right. Well, that's a good testimonial about the BioShield and the gnats, and I'm glad he was brought that to light because I've had a lot of people saying how good that BioShield's working for the gnats. And I tell you, that's a nuisance, and gnats are incredible down here in Alabama and Florida. So I'll pick you up some BioShield and take care of that, and it's all natural. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, folks, and we'll be right back.
From Don Bell, the founder of Code Blue, comes Top Secret Reserve Doe Estrus, the finest doe estrus ever collected. Top Secret oxygen-free collection process is a complete generation above Code Blue. Our patent-pending collection process means no ammonia and no ammonia smell. At a limited quantity of 12,000 bottles, only 0.1% of hunters will be lucky enough to add Top Secret to their arsenal. Visit TopSecretDeerScent.com today and join the 0.1% Club.
And about midway through the show, this is typically the time we really like to talk about our sponsor of the show, which is the 1/10 of 1% Club, most exclusive club in America. And you ask, well, Steve, how in the world do you come up with a name, 1/10 of 1% Club? Well, there's 12 million deer hunters, and there's 12,000 bottles of the best deer scent that's ever been bottled. So 12,000 is 1/10 of 1% of 12 million deer hunters, therefore the 1/10 of 1% Club. So this is the best of the best right here, folks. We have Top Secret Deer Scent, comes in a 26-ounce bottle. You buy a bottle of this, it's 26 ounces, it's $100 for 26 ounces. I think that equivalates down to about $3 and change per ounce, and I tell you, you can't beat that because this is actually in process urine. So we pull the old boy off the doe, and it's a mature doe, 3.5, 4.5 year old doe right there. So it's the best of the best right there. 26 ounces. You can take it, use your scent saver, pour it in there, get the oxygen out of it, keep it oxygen free. You just buy a bottle and that gets you a club membership. And it also comes in breeding buck, same deal, pull the old buck off of the doe, and in process urine, even less of these available. So if you really want breeding buck, you really better jump on it because it's hard to come by because there's a lot less bucks than there are does available, of course, whenever you're bottling deer scent. So get your bottle today. You can pay for it in one payment, $100, or you can click for pay and pay for it $25 a month. We'll hit your credit card for $25 and then do it for 3 more months. And so it kind of minimizes the sting there, $25 a month for 4 months. And you can also choose on there, hey, I want to have it shipped in September or October, and it'll ask you about that. You can click the month you want it, and we'll ship it right to you just in time for hunting season, or right before the rut in your area, and we'll get it to you. So join the club. They got Tom and Chris just threw up the benefits on there of the club. A lot of great benefits, folks. Join today. I tell you what, they're running out fast. Once you join, it's like season tickets to Florida State football. It can't ever go away unless you give it up. Then it's available for somebody else to pick it up. So get yours today, folks, and you'll love it. All right, looks like we got another phone call coming in. Yep, there it is. All right, this is Top Secret. Who we got tonight?
Hi, this is Carol Freeshay.
Hey, Carol, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good. Where are you calling from?
Coots, Texas.
Coots, Texas. What part of the state is that?
It's down here in southeast Texas.
Southeast. All right. There's some deer in Texas. I tell you what, and I've only been hunting in Texas one time, if you can believe that. Oh my goodness, that's a great state for deer hunting, though. Carol, you got Steve tonight. I apologize. Don's in New York tonight doing a seminar way up in New York. So this is kind of early actually for doing seminars, but he got called up to do that. So, but what question did you have tonight?
Well, my question is, what I was wondering is, like when you're on the scrape, is it best to take and use the buck urine in the scrape and hang a wick, or is it best to separate it?
Right. Well, Carol, there's not a right way or a wrong way. Honestly, I truly believe. I've been doing it a long time, and honestly, my preference is I like to put it right in the scrape, because whenever I do something like put scents out or do anything like that, I want it to be as lifelike as possible, like it's happening in the woods, if you know what I'm saying. So I'd like for it to go right in the scrape. I don't really like to hang scent things on trees or anything, simply because that's not a typical place that you're going to find scent up in a tree or up on a limb. A buck is going to rub his orbital glands and stuff on limbs and things, but that's about the extent of that. There's not going to be buck urine or doe estrus or something in the limbs. So right on the scrape, absolutely is perfect. But now as far as spraying it on the ground, I do that. I'll especially our foam. I don't know if you use Top Secret. But the foam is wonderful. You can take the foam and just foam it out as you're going into your stand, and it works outstanding for that. But as far as the scrape goes, put it right in the scrape, and you don't have to worry about the scent wicks or anything like that, unless it's just a personal preference. But honestly, you don't have to, because a deer can smell so much better than human. It's not even funny. They're going to smell it.
Right.
So.
Okay, because I've often wondered, because being up in the air like that, I mean, you're right. I mean, the buck ain't going to get it up there.
Right. Well, that's right. They're not. Yeah, that's right. They're not going to hike their leg and get it up there. That's for sure. But that's right. Well, did you have another part of the question, or?
Yeah, I have another part of the question too. As far as like with this, what they have to come up with this apple flavored corn. And down here in Southeast Texas, I have tried that corn, and they had it just rots on the ground.
Oh, really?
Because of anything. So
really, that's interesting.
If that was something to do with this area, because apples not being, something that is
indigenous
to this area, really,
right.
And they shy away from it.
Right. Well, and Carol, I think you're actually right on to it. I think because probably it's not really indigenous to that area. They're like, well, and honestly, probably people corn in Texas more than any state in the U.S., I would imagine. I don't know. The deer are so used to what corn is and the way it smells. I'm like you. I think they don't know. They're just not used to associating that apple smell with corn.
Right.
Now, I know some people that use it here, and to me, it's okay, but I certainly would not use it if I'm gonna like for example, for our place, we have a place up in Alabama, and on our property, I would never think about going into it, using it during the rut if it's something that we've not used before. I would never do that. I would do it off season and let the deer get used to it for several weeks or maybe even several months, and let them get used to it before I'm going to do it during hunting season. So I certainly wouldn't do that. I don't know. I'm real skeptical about introducing something, especially because I think that apple flavored corn has a pretty strong scent. So I'm like you. I don't think, and if it's rotting on the ground, yeah, I'd get rid of it in a hurry. It just tells you right there they're not used to it. They're not used to it, and they're not really wanting to eat it. They like corn. We know they like corn. So just
they
plain
like corn. They like something that's natural to their environment.
Right, natural
around here.
Exactly, natural to the environment. And the thing is, that apple flavored corn, honestly, it's more of a marketing technique than anything, which is, is not a bad idea, but, a deer, they just like corn. Corn's natural, and to me, that's what I use. That's what I like to do.
All right, thank you.
All right, well, hey, we appreciate you calling in tonight, and call us again or send us a question. We'd love to hear from you.
Thank you, I sure will.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, folks, it was a great question from Carol there, all the way from Texas. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Rise and shine. It's time to hunt.
Repel and kill the bugs that bug you most with the all-natural 100% deep-free BioShield.
You've waited your whole life for this moment. Don't spoil your opportunity because of poor preparation. Keep your optics clean and fog-free for a clear shot every time. Fog Zero.
Introducing Scent Defense, a revolutionary 3-in-1 formula from Top Secret. Infused with antimicrobial silver copper synergy technology to attack odor before it starts. Fortified with NeuroX to attack and repel insects instantly. Scent Defense is specifically formulated to attract deer while simultaneously destroying odor. Scent Defense, the 3-in-1 formula for success.
All right, folks, we're back, and I think Tom's telling me we're going to Facebook, looks like. All right, Facebook question is Henry Bayless from Russellville, Alabama. It says, when hunting a rub line, what is the best tactic for killing a buck? Well, Henry, honestly, I really don't hunt a rub line. A rub line is kind of a buck. It's really a buck kind of establishing his master bedroom, what Don always liked to say is a master bedroom. It's more of a guideline than anything, a rub line. He makes a rub line in that area, but I wouldn't key in or spend too much time on a rub line itself. I would spend a little more time on scrapes because they are actually going to come back. They're going to come downwind of scrapes, and they're going to check those because that's, of course, what a doe's going to go urinate in, and then, of course, he's going to smell that to see what doe it is. If she's the whole reason the doe's urinating in the scrape is so he'll smell that estrus content in it. He'll know whether she's coming in estrus. So scrapes for sure. A rub line, I don't know that now you're going to have rubs wherever you're going to be hunting. More than likely you're going to have rubs in the rub line, but I just wouldn't even worry about a rub line as far as my strategy goes. I just usually my strategies are transition zones, transition from food to cover. That to me, that's kind of where we base ours, is food to cover transition. is the best. Wherever they're going to be spending that kind of time, and like for our area, and I know I always go back to that because that's kind of what I know, what I grew up hunting in Alabama. The food and the cover is the main thing. That's the name of the game outside of the rut. So food and cover, you can get in on top of those. You're going to be right in there with it. So I don't know that I'd worry about a rub line for the rut. Key in on some scrapes for sure, because they're going to be checking those scrapes. At some point, they're going to check them for sure. So key in on the scrapes, not so much the rubs. The rubs are a good indicator of the bucks that are in the area, and certain rubs can tell the size of a buck to a degree. If a rub is on a tree like that, that's a good buck. Because a small buck is just not going to physically be able to make a rub like that. So more than anything, a rub's going to tell you what quality buck that you might or might not have in a particular area. So use that more than anything to try to. I don't think that I would use a rub line as a tactic for setting up on a buck. Go after the scrapes and your other sign, especially during the rut. Traditional, areas where, they're going to be chasing or master bedrooms, things like that. So, all right, Henry, I hope that helped. You may have a different opinion, or if you have something, a different opinion altogether, send it in and let me know what you think. We got another Facebook question. Ryan Meal, I'm not sure how to say that, guys. Mealy. Pulaski, New York. What's the best way to apply the estrus, cotton ball, directly to the ground or branch? And I think we answered a good part of this in Carol's question from Texas a while ago. She was asking, do you put it in hang the wick in the tree or on the limb, or do you put it right in the scrape or on the ground? And to me, I always like to be as lifelike as possible. I was telling Carol, a buck's not going to urinate on a limb that's this high off the ground, so you really don't want to put estrus up there. Now I'll use estrus foam and spray, and I'll spray it on the ground, and I'll also spray it on little bushes and trees and things, but they're not high off the ground at all. I don't want to spray it right up here, and a buck knows that the doe's not going to urinate up 5 feet off the ground. So, you want to be as lifelike as possible. You can use cotton balls. I'm not wild about introducing something that may get more human scent out, like a cotton ball. I'd rather spray it directly from the bottle right onto the ground. That way you're not getting any of your human scent on it at all. That is by far my favorite way to use it, is spray it right out of the bottle, whether it be the foam, which is, I know I talk about a lot. Foam is my absolute favorite. You can foam that. Watch this. You see that? They're not going to like me foaming it all over the floor, but that works awesome right there. They're waving at me. Quit doing it. It's not real deer. This is just sample, folks. Trust me, they'd be clearing out of here if it was the real thing. But when you talk about our bottled urine like this, you can do it in the scent saver and just pour it directly on the ground. That's very effective as well. Foam's just nice. It's easy. You can whip it out, foam it. Every 2 to 3, 4, 5 steps, foam it. Can't use too much of it. It doesn't take a lot though. If you can smell it a little bit, a deer can smell it outstanding. It's a good rule of thumb. So it's just one way to look at it. But I like to put it right on the ground, right on low-hanging branches or bushes down low, not anything over 2 feet, because anything over about 2 feet, it's just not realistic if you think about it. All right, another Facebook question is that name backwards? Andrew and Janice, okay. Andrew and Janice, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Where do bucks bed in relation to doe bedding areas? Well, that's That's kind of a tough question. They're going to be, honestly, during the rut, pre-peak and post, bucks are going to be bedding with those. They'll bed. Matter of fact, one time, it reminds me of a hunting trip that I had one time in Illinois about 10 years ago. This kind of proves one of these points. They'll bed together. A friend of mine had shot a buck and shot him high. And a nice buck, probably 160, 70-inch deer. Shot him with a bow, come in, shot him straight down, and the arrow was sticking out of him. He ran off. He knew he'd made a bad hit, and so he backed out and came out. The guy that I hunt with, Glenn, we went in with him and the guide. We went in and started trailing this deer, and not much blood. And so we started fanning out and just kind of easing, just of course trying to see if we might walk up on the deer, find the deer laying down or died. And I had kind of flanked around one, got in front of them and started flanking around, and or no, it was backwards. One of them had flanked, got ahead of me, and I was back, and they had apparently had come into a bedding area, and they had spooked a bunch of bucks and does, and I've never in my life seen anything like it. Here come does come out of there, trotting out of there, and then here come a couple of bucks. I'm talking small bucks, but every buck that was coming out of there just kept getting bigger and bigger. I saw no less than 12 to 14 bucks come out of that one area, and there was at least 15 to 20 does in that one area. It was absolute madness. It was crazy. Nothing I ever seen anything like that. But they were huge bucks. When the last 3 or 4 were giant, so they were the last ones to get up and go. But they will bed together, and that was just like almost like a huge house of deer, all bedded up together. But that was right in the middle of the rut, right there. So outside of the rut, bucks hang out with bucks and does hang out with does, so they're going to separate. Now, they may not be far apart, but they're usually not together in the same area. So that's probably about as good as I can explain that. And during the rut, they're together. So not necessarily they're going to bed together every time, but they certainly will bed down together. Let's see, we got a Scent Defense website question. And this is from Robbie Gabe from San Antonio, Texas. It says, how does Scent Defense compare to other odor eliminating products in the market? Well, folks, if this is the first time on the show or first or second time and you hadn't heard much about Scent Defense, this is it. Scent Defense spray. We have it in spray, and of course we have it in laundry, and we also have it in hair and body wash. But Scent Defense is a 3-in-1. It kills human odor with copper and silver. With Scent Defense, we have not only, with a lot of products use silver these days to kill, which works great in killing human odor, absolutely outstanding. Copper is even better than silver in killing your human odor. Well, we took copper and silver and fused them together and made it, and that's why you see it's called Silver Copper Synergy, SCS. We fused them together. It is wonderful for killing your human odor. It really does well to really get rid of your human odor. So that component is in Scent Defense. Get rid of your human odor. All right, better than anything on the market, because you think about it, out there you got either silver, and now there's one out there I think that it has copper in it, but we have silver and copper. It's both, so it's killing every bit of it. And so, and not to mention, this is a repellent. It repels insects, mosquitoes, bed bugs, chiggers, so it gets rid of that, and it's an attractant. And I know that's kind of an oxymoron. You think, well, how in the world does it do that? Well, Scent Defense smells good. It smells great, and it's got kind of a honeysuckle smell to it, and the deer love it. So it wasn't an easy product to come up with, folks. But I tell you what, it's a great one. It's a game changer right there. Scent Defense is. You'll see it on outdoor channels, sportsman's channels, Pursuit. You'll see it out there a lot because Scent Defense is making a lot of waves in the market. It's a great product. I strongly encourage you to try it. You don't have to heat up your little, click that thing and start a fire to get rid of the mosquitoes or keep them away from you. because you think about it, that thing keeps the mosquitoes just right here. This right here will kill them and keeps them away from you, and it doesn't just keep them on one little spot. This right here, you spray down with it, and it keeps the mosquitoes, not only mosquitoes, which a lot of things are only effective against mosquitoes, this ticks as well. Ticks are huge, especially during bow season when it's warm, or heck, a good part of the season is warm, so works great for that. And it's an attractant, so you can use it the whole season. So hope that answered your question, Robbie, about scent defense. Give it a try. Tom just ran over here and handed me. This is the laundry detergent right here of scent defense, the laundry and the hair and body wash. Hair and body wash smells great. Smells awesome. Smells like honeysuckles. Lathers up real good. So does that. Smells. So it really has a great smell to it, and the deer love it. So give it a try. All right, we had a late question come in tonight. This is a Ustream question coming in from Don McRae from Minnesota City, Minnesota. And is that right? Okay. Don McRae says, what is new for 2016 from Top Secret? Well, Don, I'm glad you asked that question. One of my favorite things for 2016, probably my most favorite thing for 16, is that little bottle right there. That is Top Secret 1-ounce spray bottles. That is new for 2016, and we're excited about it. It's a 1-ounce spray bottle. You can see it there. It's kind of hard to see, isn't it? But these are very, very, very convenient size right here. This is going to be in a lot of stores this year. Matter of fact, it's going to be in a lot of your big retailers this year as well. They've already picked this product up because they realize it's going to be a good product. It just makes sense. It's very convenient. It's 1 ounce. You can put 2 or 3 bottles in your pocket, pick it up, spray 1 ounce out. Once you get done, you can throw it away, grab another one. It's just real convenient. So that's new for 16. We have that in estrus. We have it in buck urine. We also have it in, why am I having a hard time? The deer tarsal. I can't think of tarsal tonight. We have it in tarsal gland as well. So all 3 put-ups, we have it. So 1 ounce. We also have, and I don't know why I don't have it in here with me, but we have Scent Defense All Season this year. It's called Scent Defense All Season. Do we have a catalog? I don't guess we have a catalog. We'll have to do it on the next show, folks. Well, matter of fact, we'll do a whole segment on Scent Defense All Season next show. We'll do that because that's a new product coming out for this year. It's going to be great. I tell you what, that's all I'll say about Scent Defense All Season for now, because we'll do a whole segment on it next show, and we'll talk about Scent Defense All Season. So that's going to be new for 16, and we're real excited about that. We'll talk about that in the next show. Don and I'll go over that. So that's mainly the main thing. I don't have a Power Start in here. That's not a top secret anyway, but we'll talk about that next show as well. But top secret wise, we have the 1 ounce spray bottles. That's huge. That's going to be in just about all your major retailers right there this year. And of course, a lot of your local retailers are going to be carrying that as well. Your hunting shops are going to be carrying that as well. But and top secret all season, Scent Defense All Season by Top Secret. We'll go over in the next show, but you're going to like that. And we'll take it from there. Well, folks, I believe that's it for the questions for tonight. And we appreciate you calling in, those callers that called in. We even appreciate Mike calling in, I guess. But no, we do, we really do. We appreciate the guys in the back there for helping the show every week. They do a big job back there. They spend a lot of time back there in making the show happen every week. So, folks, we appreciate you listening, tuning in tonight. Don Bell will be back next week, and we'll both be doing the show next week. And we look forward to talking to you, going over the new products next week, the Scent Defense All Season. And we'll talk to you next time.